This is the M3, a micro mini message to encourage, to inspire, and to ponder. Thanks for watching this week's M3. This week I was driving down the interstate. I was coming down Interstate 88. And you know, as you're going along the interstate there, I passed a lot of signs. And a lot of those signs had symbols on them that said things like Shell Station. And they said things like BP Gas Station. And they told me that I needed to get gas. And the reason why those signs were important was because there was another sign in my truck. It has this little thing that says distance to empty. And the longer I drove, that number, distance to empty, kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it got to the point eventually where that distance to empty sign said 0. And the other sign I had said, you've got 6 miles to the next gas station. And I was panicked. By some miracle, I made it to the gas station. I think I was driving on fumes, but I got into there and got it filled. So obviously I'm here with you today. But you know what? I ignored a lot of signs, and they told me what I needed to do, but I went past it. You know, one of the things about the people of God and being a church is that we are called to be a sign. We are called to be a community that points to something. And what do we point to? We point to the promise of the good news of Jesus. We point to the kingdom of God. When we look at a society that is divided and broken along race and gender, and kids are being abused and women are suffering, and we are just in such a broken society. When we are in a society where the stranger is not welcome, where the immigrant is not welcome, we are called to be a church that points to something better and something greater, that points to the kingdom of God. You know, the grand symbol of Revelation chapter 7 is that one day every tribe, every tongue, every nation will be around the throne worshiping God. Paul says to us that in the kingdom of God, there is no male nor female, slave nor free, for we are all one. All those things that divide us by gender, divide us by economic status, divide us by who owns who, even slave. He says in the kingdom of God, all those things are not present, for we are all one. We are all equal before God. And the promise in Revelation is that one day we will all be together with our own unique tribe, with our own unique languages. We will all worship together around the kingdom of God. And that's the promise. That's the hope that we look forward to. And he calls us to be a sign and a symbol to the world around us, that they would drive by us and they would see the church of God. They would see this community as a sign, and it would point to what is to come. It would point to hope. To those who feel like in their life their distance to empty has reached 0 and they are out, we are a place that says, come, the Spirit of God will fill you. He will give you life. We are to be a sign and a symbol of the hope of the kingdom of God. How are you doing this week at pointing to the kingdom of God? Do people, when they drive by you, walk past you, do they see the kingdom? Do they see the promise and the hope of the kingdom of God? Or they see something else? Because we're called to be a sign and a symbol of the kingdom of God, of who God is, of His hope, His holiness, and the joy of being a follower of Jesus. Have a great week. Hope to see you this Sunday. Thanks for watching the M3. Thank you for listening to this week's M3. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe on your favorite podcast player. You might also enjoy our blog, The Milk Can, online at jumpingjersey.org. Have a great week.